Hey, what is up? It's your boy Mike Tag. Of course, I got Jimmy D by my side for another edition of Tag Nation. Sorry, missed last week. I was working. I had to pay them bills so I can go to AT&T this season. Got to make sure I have enough beer money. So sorry, I missed it, but I know Jimmy held down the fort. Also, hope everyone had a good Memorial Day weekend. You see, I'm representing the Poison Clan. Did a little old school back in time in 305. So before we get started, make sure you guys like, subscribe, interact, comment, share, tell us some things. If we're not talking about topics you want, man, just let us know. But hopefully we're gonna get off to a good show. I know my boy Jimmy D is hype. I watched that game a little bit last night, so I'm sure you want to get started.
Mike Tag, before we get into all this other crap, let's draw the guidelines of history right now. Rangers went into Pittsburgh and did it once, went into Carolina and did it twice, and next up, we're going to go down and take down Vasilevsky and the Lightning down to Tampa Bay. And then we're going to be a team with the Wales Trophy, then on to the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, tomorrow, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1. It's not going to be in Carolina. It's not going to be in Sunrise. It's not going to be in Tampa Bay. It's going to be right here in the Mecca, the most famous arena in the world, home of the by God Rangers. Get ready because it starts tomorrow night.
Well, I hope you're hyped. Hey, it's not like I'm living in Tampa, so, I'm not a huge hockey fan. You're talking about names that I don't even know, but they are the two-time defending champions. But I did see that they're 0-3 against the Rangers this year. So yes. It's going to be interesting. But you gotta think about the Lightning, man. They swept the Panthers. They made easy work of them. So any concerns being a Ranger fans? I know you're hype. I know you're ready. You guys took care of Carolina. That was a big series win, especially I think you guys were down 0-2 and came alive. So what's your unbiased observation of this series?
Okay, so let's take a step back. All right, so we drew the guidelines of history. Now let's get a little detail. So Pittsburgh, we were down 3-1. Now people are going to say, well, in 5 of the games you played against backups. Okay, but we still came back from 3-1. I don't care who was in goal. And we were behind in 3 of the games that we were against elimination. Carolina down 2-0, and people are saying, oh, well, Freddie Anderson got hurt, and Ani Ranta was in. Ranta was standing on his head, killing us first couple games, and he played pretty damn well until last night. So I don't want to hear any of that crap. Now, here's the thing. We talked about this a few weeks ago. When we talked about the Panthers and the Lightning, I said, and we can go back and replay it, I said the Panthers should take the series. However, if Vasilevsky's on fire, it's a different ball game altogether. Now, keep in mind, Vasilevsky in the series before was pulled once or twice, at least once. He was pulled in the Toronto series. He gave up 6 goals. So, hey, they won in 7. Tampa Bay won in 7. They are the defending back-to-back champs.
Two-time champions.
Two-time. So, anyway, then he goes in Florida and just obliterates the best team in hockey. Shuts them down completely. So the question is, with all these days off, because they got rid of the Panthers so quickly, with all these days off, does he cool down a little bit? Or is he still wound up rocking and rolling? Because that's with us. Shesterkin, our goalie, he's just been killing it. So you had Vasilevsky stopped 151 of 154 shots in 4 games. That's sick. I think Shesty stopped some in the neighborhood of 239 and 250 shots. So again, really good. He killed it. He if it wasn't for him, we lose. Okay, so that being said, most people are picking the Lightning in 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say the same thing, and I'm not being a homer. I'm not being a gamer. If Vasilevsky's on fire again, we're gonna have a problem. But then again, we're coming off hot. We got momentum. We got momentum going. Shesterkin's on fire. If he's playing like that, and if we don't play on our heels like we were in some of the games, we just go in, let him take care of his business back in, the net, and go in and get our shots. I think we're going to be okay. I think we'll be winning in 6 or 7. So let's see.
Like I said, I think it was right. You guys were 3-0. Correct me if I'm wrong against them this year. So it'll be interesting. But the Lightning, they know how to turn it up, and they definitely have turned it up in the playoffs. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Living in Tampa, they're hyped up. They think they feel, hey, they're going to make easy work of the Rangers. Talk about two-time Stanley Cup defending champions, so they're looking for that three-peat. So I know they're ready to roll. The question is, I didn't even pay attention out west. I honestly, I don't even know who's coming out of it. Is the Stanley Cup coming out of the East, or do one of these two teams going to have some trouble out west?
Okay, so let's look at that real quick. We won't spend too long on the West, but so you had, and the same people are sitting there bitching and moaning, oh, the Rangers, they didn't play against all the first-string goalies. First of all, Ronta and Anderson, like I said, they were both hurt on and off most of the year, so I don't want to hear that crap. Secondly, the Avalanche ended up playing the Blues, who, on a questionable hit by Nazem Kadri, they took out the starting goalie for St. Louis, who was a Stanley Cup champ himself. Danny, you can kiss my ass. They took him out. So basically, the Avs played against the Blues, who lost their Stanley Cup goalie for 5 of the games, and he stole game 2 for him, took home ice. So what you have in the West is completely the opposite of what we have on our side. In the West, you got Connor McJesus, you got Leon Draisaitl on Edmonton. They're both absolutely crazy scorers. For the Avalanche, you got Nathan McKinnon, you got Cale Makar. So that's going to be a completely offensive. That's going to be just an offensive show. That's going to be where you're going to see some high scoring games. So I guess we'll see what happens. You got two guys who have a chip on their shoulder in that series. For Colorado, you got the aforementioned Kadri, because he is an asshole. He is a cheap shot artist. He's been suspended 6 or 7 times in his career for shenanigans. So I don't like him. All the people who are saying all that stupid crap about him on social media, those people are idiots. They should refrain from that stupidity and that nonsense. But anyway, I don't like him, but I guess I got to play ball with him. And then
it's Edmonton. So it's Edmonton and Colorado. Is that
yes?
That's who's cut that. So it's going to be one of them coming out to face probably the Lightning. Hopefully the Lightning go for that three-peat. That'd be nice.
Well, one other thing, let me make reference to one more point. So Edmonton has Evander Kane. Now he has a history. This is more personal. He has a history of gambling issues, right? And he had some bankruptcy going on. So he was getting hazed and chirped at in the game against Calgary. They were, breaking his balls about that. And he had the last laugh. He started scoring. He had a hat trick. He scored 2 goals in the final game. So, you want to screw with people. You want to push people's buttons. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. So anyway, 2 guys with chips on their shoulders, some of the best scorers in the league. Those games are all going to be 6-5, 7-6. It's going to be crazy. So
yeah. So are you heading to any of the games? You got any plans to try and snatch up some tickets? Because I know a guy I work with is a Rangers fan, and he wanted to know if Mike Tag gets the hookups on tickets every now and then. He wanted to know if I could help him out. And I said, go to StubHub, get ready to pay an arm and a leg, because they're not going to be cheap. I know, especially in Tampa, you got a heavy presence in Florida of New Yorkers. So there's going to be a lot of Rangers trying to gobble up some tickets down in Tampa. And I'm sure obviously up in the same at Madison Square Garden.
Well, there was probably about 5,000 Rangers fans at the Hurricanes game last night in Raleigh. But no, you know what? I've looked, and frankly, it's kind of tough. I mean, if I want to go alone, I'm still dropping $400 on the cheapest ticket. Now, it's my team, and I love them. If we're blessed enough to move on to the Stanley Cup Finals, maybe I drop that kind of money. But I think this series, unless I get the hookup, I'll be sitting on my couch kicking back with a Miller Lite so cold, freeze the hand off an Eskimo.
But that's the question as being a diehard fan of certain teams, and obviously me being the Cowboys, is if they go to the Super Bowl, when they go, let's just say, would I drop the money to go? And if I'm being honest, I'd say no. Now I have season tickets, so thankfully I can get as far as a championship game, but I could never imagine spending the money on a game, in the Super Bowl. Now, if they want to do a GoFundMe and Cowboys Nation wants to throw the boy a few bucks to help me get a ticket, then I'm not going to deny it. But I just, man, them prices are insane. It's like I have season tickets now, and sometimes, friends, hey man, can you send me your tickets? And I tell them how much they cost. And then they look at me like, well, maybe not. And I tell them, I say, I'm not charging you anymore. I'm just, that's what I got to pay. By the time we get the seat license and everything, I mean, these tickets aren't cheap. So it adds up. Lightning in 4, a sweep. No
Louis,
respect, Jimmy. No respect on the show.
No, you know what? No respect. Louis, I know you got that stick after the Panthers Lightning game. I think Belmar gave it to you. I'll take that stick and crack it right over your head. It'll be worth nothing. Now, the other thing too, I'm kind of limited because, and we'll talk about this later in the show, but I gotta go out of town for work Sunday, so I'm only home for the first. Well, I'm home the first 2 games. I'm gonna miss the next home game after that, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, let's touch. I know we got in hot. I know my boy was hyped with the Rangers. I wanted to make sure you get that love right away. But let's talk a little bit about life. So it's a Memorial Day weekend. Everyone had a good time. I hope everyone had a great time with their family. I was fortunate enough to have some family coming up. Some real good friends came by, and they towed their boat down, so we got to go on the boat. The wave runners. I mean, we were doing everything. But the problem when you have that, you're talking, we're rolling 12 deep, is you're limited on stuff. So they took the boat. I have the wave runners. We had some issues. I'll make the story fast, but there is a funny ending to it. Well, we're moving stuff around. So some people are going there. 6 of us are going on the wave runners, 3 apiece. So it's not the easiest ride going out. We had trouble getting to a boat ramp. So many were closed or full. So we finally get out there. The current's real strong. The boat's moving around. The wave runner, my daughter wanted to go on the wave runner. I wasn't paying attention. Turned it on. There was a rope underneath the wave runner, sucked it up. Ooh. So, now it's dead. We had to beach it. Thankfully, a friend of ours had a little pocket knife on their boat. We were able to cut the rope. My nephew's hands were small enough to get in the intake and pull it out. We go to start it. Smoke's going everywhere. And anyone who knows me, as much as I do my videos and do all this stuff, I do not like attention, believe it or not. And so when the smoke's going, the first thing people do is they start looking over, they're walking over, and I'm just like trying to look down and just shut it off, leave it there, we'll figure it out. So we're riding it, and like I said, the current's going in. So when you're coming in, you got to really watch it. So long story short, is my niece and my brother were on the wave runner. They came in, but my niece was driving it, and she just kind of came in too close. So now the wave runner is coming towards the boat, and it's their, my friend's, new boat. And all I'm saying is, if they scratch it, it's going to cost me more. So then I just made a sandwich. I'm having lunch. I got the sandwich in this hand. I'm kicking the boat. I'm kicking the wave runner out. My brother's on there trying to push it off. He ends up falling or jumping. I don't know what he did, but he fell off. My wife was trying to push it too. He falls on top of her. They get sucked under the boat. So now they're floating around. I'm pushing it. I give it one last kick, and then I fall in. But Jimmy, the most important thing, as I was falling in, I rested the sandwich on top of the boat. Sandwich didn't get destroyed, so I was able to eat it later. So then I fall in. I'm pushing it back. It was just a complete nightmare. Then finally we get back. We end the day. We split up again because remember, half got to go one way, half got to go another. Yeah. And we get close to the boat ramp, but I asked my brother, I said, where's the car keys? Oh. He was on the boat. So then I had to call a buddy of mine to go to my house, get the spare set. Thank God he was there and meet us at the boat ramp. But we had such a great time, but it's like you do things like that. It makes for great stories. The stories are even longer, but I was trying to shorter. There's so many other things that happened, but it was just a fun weekend. But it's always craziness when you get the Tartaglia clan together. We have a good time.
So you made sure the Diablo sandwich was nice and rested on the.
It was not. As I fell in, I stuck my hand up and just dropped it on there because I wasn't about to lose it. So, but it was a fun weekend. And Sunday we went out boating real easy. We kind of just cruised around on their boat, and we had a nice time. We barbecued some. So it was just a great Memorial Day weekend. How about you, man? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, we did. So we had some friends over on Saturday, and of course, we're having a pool party because it's finally nice and warm out, and the pool's good. And so, of course, it's pouring rain all night long. It's 65 degrees out. I'm saying you cannot make this stuff up, man. So finally, thank God we made it later in the day. So about 3:30, people started arriving, and it started getting nicer out. So it was a good time. We threw a few drinks back, barbecued, had a good time, and then we had a family wedding Sunday in Rhode Island, which is a good 3 hours from here now. We were supposed to stay overnight, but certain people had some school obligations on Memorial Day, so we had to get back.
And
so we did. Yeah. Another story. That's another story. But anyway, so we drove there the 3 hours. The wedding was at 2:00. The reception's at 6:00. You know me, I'm not driving home.
Mm-hmm.
So we stayed. We actually closed the wedding 11 o'clock. I was throwing a few dozen back by that point, and poor Leah had to drive home at 11 o'clock at night. And we got home at 2 a.m, and I think I drank the whole ride home. I didn't want the party to end, man. I just want to, it's you're having fun. It's a good time. It was a family wedding and just a bunch of great people.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. And that's the beauty of those, those nice long weekends, and to your point where, so you get back to work Tuesday, I'm working Wednesday, then we're going to go on a little family quick vacation. So get away, get some R&R, recharge the batteries, get ready for the home stretch for working and things like that for us to finish strong. So it's great when you can get that extra time to spend with the family, and especially friends you hadn't seen in a long time. It's always good to do that. Plus, you saw my brother got me. Anyone who doesn't know what this is, it's the Poison Clan, and I'm a huge Poison Clan fan growing up. Obviously, JT Money, Debonair's Bad, the Devil's Dad, and the rest of the crew. So he got me a nice old school Poison Clan T-shirt to go with a little Memorial Day weekend. So I wanted to rep it today, and
looks good.
So yeah, it was awesome. We're still trying to, he comes to concerts still. He still does it. We just got to find the right ones to go to that's close to us. But it's not the music you want your kids to listen to. It's a different era. So
we don't advocate that.
I'm not recommending the young kids listen to it, but it's funny and I enjoy it. It's what I grew up with. So
absolutely.
Being from the dirty South, that's what you got to do. So Miami bass. So
yeah. And I did well. Hey, I had the Ghetto Boys going on the way home after the wedding.
That's another Fifth Ward.
Fifth Ward, baby. That's right, Bushwick Bill.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so let's change gears. One more.
Well, no, just one more thing, and yep. I think you agree with me on this one. It was a 3-day weekend. We had fun, and hopefully everybody had a 3-day weekend. I know a lot of people had to work, but even so, whoever had the 3-day weekend, whoever was barbecuing, partying, whatever, just remember the real reason for Memorial Day weekend is to remember our fallen soldiers and for the people who gave us our freedoms to do what we want and do this sort of thing, and just thank them for obviously the ultimate sacrifice, and thank their families. So
that goes without saying. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So but yeah, so let's change it back to a little sports a little bit.
Yeah.
Got that personal stuff out of the way. So Spicy Sprite, I don't know who that is. What's up? But
I like that.
Let's talk about the basketball game because the West was easy. We knew I figured the Warriors were going to take care of Dallas. I like Dallas, but they were definitely overmatched and outmanned. The Miami series was interesting. I'm not a huge basketball fan. I follow it in the playoffs. I've always said that. But I'm a Heat fan, grew up down there. That was the only basketball team we had. So I enjoy it. And I tell you, every game was kind of weird because it was a blowout, right? The Heat got blown out. Then they blew the Celtics out. And then game 7, Miami, just getting blown out again. And God, every time they got close, they just, they just couldn't get it going until the end. And they went on this just ferocious run. And they had it, and then Jimmy gets that final shot. I know some people criticize him because they say he maybe could have drove and either just tied it up or maybe got a +1 and took the lead. But he had a great look, and he's their best player. And I don't know how you can I don't know how you can fault him for it. The shot didn't go in, but hey, you want your best players taking the shot. So I personally have an issue with it. I thought they were overmatched a little bit. They had some injuries. if you're honest with yourself, and I had this argument with my son because my son's a big basketball fan. He's a huge Heat fan.
Yeah.
So we were really going back and forth. And I said, the Celtics are a better team. I'm no expert. I didn't watch it all year, but I'm watching the games. The Celtics were the better team, in my opinion, top to bottom. And it could have been injuries, right? Hero really didn't play much. And I know Jimmy was kind of banged up and they had some other things, but just looking at it, the Celtics just looked to me to be the better team, and the better team won the series.
Well, what sucked the most is for Game 7 at that, we were at that wedding. So, Rhode Island, they all identify with Boston, a bunch of chowds up there. And so, between the Red Sox and the Bruins and the Celtics that night, that's all we heard about. And yeah, you know what? It was tough, and you can't fault him. I mean, look, he took the shot he thought was right. And at the end of the day, look, Butler was not the same. I mean, Game 6, he killed it, right?
Yeah.
But he wasn't the same after he got hurt in Game 3. His field goal percentage was terrible after that, with the exception of Game 6. Bam only had 2 good games. The rest were he was scoring single digits. And Tyler Herro being out, he was out games 5 and 6, and he played a few minutes in Game 7. Really, nothing to talk about.
It didn't really even matter.
I think that was the biggest turn of events. I think if he is playing in those games, the Heat close it out and the Heat win. And injuries are part of the game, right? It's going to happen. But, without, again, that guy's starting on most teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he's playing, I think it's a completely different ending to that series. The series was sloppy. It was physical, but it was sloppy. And like you said, man, it was just a roller coaster of different scores.
It's not typically what you see in the finals. You usually don't see huge. Like sometimes you get one blowout, then it just kind of ends. But it was blowouts on either side. It was like every game was Heat led the whole game. The Celtics led the whole game on another one. So it wasn't a normal series that you see. And so now you got the finals. So to me the question is, you got the Celtics, you got the Warriors. I watched more of the East. I really didn't watch the Warriors, but I do know obviously Curry, and I know those guys. And, the Celtics, to me, they shot the ball really well, but they seem to be pretty physical on defense. I guess they are. Again, I don't follow it enough, but my impression is they're a pretty physical defensive team, and maybe they can present some problems to the Warriors. Or you think the Warriors are just going to be a little just too much for them to handle?
Okay, well, to your point, you got Marcus Smart, right? So there's some history there with Golden State from a few months ago where, and again, he's a physical player. I mean, he'll dive after. He's old school in a way. Yeah. So back, I think it was in March, he went diving for a ball and took out Steph Curry, right? It was incidental, but Curry, he wasn't badly hurt, but he left the game for a little bit. Then a little bit later, Klay Thompson was down. He kicked him. Marcus Smart, kicked him. Got a flagrant foul.
I like the old school Heat.
Old school, right? So there's a little history there right off the top. We know that, but I think that Golden State's too tough. They're too brutal, and I think they're gonna take it in 5 or 6.
Wow, you think it's gonna be easy work, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but first of all, I think Klay Thompson. What a great story, right? He got hurt in the 2019 finals, tore his ACL, comes back the following finals, tears his Achilles, right? Not too many games in. So, and now he comes back. He's been killing it for the last few months. And he had dropped a 30 spot the other night. I mean, another kind of like a Joe Burrow story, if you will.
Yeah.
So, and he's on. Steph Curry's on. I mean, I don't see them losing.
Yeah.
Unless
Mark, it's going to be. I figure maybe Boston they'll have their work cut out, but I think I thought they'd probably put up a better fight than Miami, being with the injuries they're at. So hoping for a good series. I love playoff sports. When it comes to basketball or hockey, I don't really watch it during the season. Baseball, kind of the same. When I was younger, I watched a lot of baseball, but not too much now.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to playoff, nothing better than playoff sports. The finality of it, the intensity goes up. Everything just kind of raises a level to where it's just, if you're a sports fan, you just got to watch it. So.
No, just that's like last night you talked about finality. Watching the Carolina fans in the stands. Shut up! You just lost. You choked. You're up 2-0. You lost Game 7 at home. Shut your mouth. I was
laughing.
At home.
And they're at home. So that's really on those two. So in the NFL, I just was gonna just touch on a little bit of Cowboy stuff if I can, because I've been, I was out of town, working, and so I saw a lot of Twitter beef, and it seems like the Eagles, they're the content creators and all the Eagle fans on social media is just all of a sudden they've risen to the top, and they're talking a little bit of smack.
Yeah.
And how, they're the team to beat. And then the media's done it. And I love it. Hey, media, throw someone up top. I really don't care. But bottom line is, this is the same Eagles fans that were killing Hurts, that wanted to get rid of him, was begging for Watson, begging for someone else. And now all of a sudden he's proclaimed the great one. He hasn't even been competitive. It's like I tweeted to someone, how about be competitive in a game? You don't have to beat the Cowboys. Be competitive. And then maybe you can raise your level up to say that you're there. I mean, they've gotten blown out of every game, and I've been to every game at AT&T that I've been to. We've blown them out. I remember being in a bar in Orlando, sports bar, with some loudmouth Eagle fans against Andy Dalton, and they ran their mouths coming to me, my family, because we're wearing our Cowboys stuff, talking all their noise. And then a few minutes later, ended up getting their ass kicked, got blown out of the game. Not to mention they got thrown out of the bar.
Good.
And they got beat by Andy Dalton, for God's sakes. I mean, I think he threw 377 yards against them. So these guys are running their mouth. They're hanging on to that one championship. Hey, God bless. But bottom line is, if you look at the Cowboys in history, when we make our runs, they're called runs. It's not lightning in the bottle. It's not some miracle. You guys win one Super Bowl, then you're back to the bottom of the basement shortly after. That's the problem with these Eagle fans. They want to talk about their past, but it's selective history. They don't want to talk about the full history. So
yes,
someone put Jalen Hurts is better than Dak. Jalen Hurts couldn't beat out Tua at Alabama, and everyone's laughing at Tua like he's some bum in the NFL. So what do you expect? He couldn't even hold his position at Alabama. Had to transfer like a coward because he didn't want to handle the competition and go toe-to-toe. He knew it was a beaten man. No disrespect to Hurts, but that's just facts. We're just talking facts here. So we talk about the Cowboys' offensive firepower. Oh, we lost Coop. Oh, we're talking about. All right, we got to replace 800 yards. Hey, CeeDee Lamb been our number one receiver. He was the number one receiver when they drafted him. That's it. They gave him 88. He had the most targets on, for the receivers last season. He's been their number one guy. There ain't no doubt CeeDee's going to step up. You got Gallup, right? You got Tolbert's going to be doing his thing, the rookie. Believe me, that's going to be one of the steals of their draft, and a guy that they're really going to be able to count on, during the season. Plus, of course, you got Pollard and you got Zeke, and people want to hate on Zeke. Keep hating on him. It's fine. The offensive line, hopefully, is going to get a little better. People are complaining some of the guys we lost. We lost all our penalties. Randy Gregory, all our penalties are now gone, right? Connor Williams, all the penalties are gone. Lyle Collins, he didn't play half the time anyway. So, Eagle fans, enjoy yourself. Feel good, because the beauty of the NFL and the gods above us is that what they've done is they said, you know what? We need to send one more message. We need to go ahead and give a beat down on national television. So we've done it in our crib. They've come to our crib and we've beaten them down because I've witnessed it. Now we're going to do it at their home on Sunday night. And then maybe, you know what? We're going to give a little Christmas present on Christmas Eve. National television, see the Eagles get beat down again. So they always care more about us than we do about them, right? They wore their Dallas Week shirts. Coaches now, Dallas Week beat Dallas, and they get their ass kicked. You ain't never seen us wearing Eagles Week because we don't give a shit about them. They're just a homecoming opponent. Like I said, they're the team that we schedule when we want to have the parade, the floats, the guaranteed win, parade out the families, maybe have senior day or something like that. That's what the Eagles are to us, and it bothers them.
You got to bring in the alumni money.
Yeah, the alumni. They can't take it, Jimmy. So I apologize. And I'm going to get more into the Cowboys as the season gets going. But I saw my boy Jay Tuck dealing with it. Rome had to deal with it. Some other, great Cowboy content creators had to deal with this crap and this nonsense of them running their mouths. Beat us first, then run your mouth. If you beat us, then you can talk all the noise you want. Hey, man, I got to deal with it.
But it's typical Philadelphia. A week ago Saturday, I made a comment, because some, punk from Philadelphia was running his mouth. So, of course, he looks at my Twitter and he sees Falcons. So we're the normal go-to, 28-3, okay, if that's all you got. So, then we had to look at the history and how long they've been around and what they've won and the ratio of championships to years. And, we kind of, brought things to light. Yeah. And then we brought more things to light, like the last time his basketball team won any championship, 1983. The last time his hockey team won anything. The last time the baseball team. So, and when, the cumulative championships, and once you started bringing things up, then all of a sudden, they stop chirping. They can't take the truth. Yeah. Like you said, they ride these little, these little waves, and that's about it.
It's so, and I mean, some morons are so Nakobe Dean is better than Mike, gonna be better than Micah Parsons, and all this garbage and receivers. They had all these first-round draft pick receivers. I don't know what they're talking about. So now this one's going to make a difference. All these other busts that they drafted, when they could have had, Justin Jefferson, and he took some scrub, and they talk about their front office is good. They draft like shit.
Yes,
I said it. I stand by it. So I enjoy it. And the thing is, I've hung out at AT&T with Eagle fans, and we have a great time. So it's always. It's always a few bad apples in the, that could spoil a bunch because there's nothing. I love good trash talk.
Of course.
I go to the games. It's all in good spirit. We have a good time. But when I see these guys posting this nonsense and this garbage and these stupid, just to get a reaction, which they did, it worked.
Yeah.
Congratulations. But that's all they want to do because they can't get it upsets them so much that no matter whatever they do, they can never get to our level in the NFC East, and it bothers me. And the NFC East is always bad if you ever notice the Eagles, it's always bad when we win it, but when they win it, it's tough.
Yeah,
division.
That was a good lead.
It's garbage.
Well, you and I were actually talking a couple weeks ago, and it was funny because what you said is correct. How is it that the biggest sports icon in their history is a fictional character? Now, no disrespect, because we love Rocky Balboa. We know all the lines from the movies, but again, he's a fictional character, and that's the most iconic sports figure in the history of Philadelphia.
Yeah, one of my favorite things was when Nick Foles had that run, and they won, and he got the Super Bowl, and they didn't even think they'd win the Super Bowl because I talked to Eagle fans around that time. They thought it was over, and I remember even saying there ain't no way in hell that they're going to go to the Super Bowl when their quarterback got hurt. But Nick Foles got hot, man. You got to give him credit. And it was it was a tough thing for me. It was the Eagles and the Patriots. I wanted the Patriots to win, but man, it hurt me to even want that. But you think about it. Then they get rid of, they let Nick go, and they go back to Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz had to go to work and show up to work every day staring at a statue of the quarterback that could get it done when he couldn't. And you guys wonder why he spiraled downhill and become the scrub quarterback that he is because he had to look at that every day. Every day he had to walk by that statue of the man who got it done because he couldn't hang, he couldn't stay healthy, and he couldn't close the job. So he had to look at that every day. And that's why he's spiraling. Now he's at Washington. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens because the Eagles play Washington the week before they play Dallas. And I tell you what, they lose that game, which they easily can. I believe it's in Washington. They lose that game, that city. You might as well. What bridge is over in Philadelphia? They're going to be jumping off that.
They're going to be jumping off the Betsy Ross Bridge or the Admiral whatever bridge, the other one. Yeah.
They'll never recover. So it'll be fun. But, that's the spirit of football. We'll get things going. I mean, and it's all in good nature. But, they don't like us. I don't like that.
See, I love it because football season's 24/7, 365 for you. Now, you know me. I'm like, all right, right now it's basketball and hockey, right? Then we got the Yankees. And once you get into training camp, that's when, all right, now football, now we're going. That's only, 6 weeks away? What is it? This is It's a month and a half away.
Well, this is like the quiet time. So I was in relaxation mode. I really haven't, it's been quiet in Cowboys camp. So I've been excited. Hey, I love the calm. I love the quiet. Let's just sit back. They had some OTAs with the rookies and some of the guys in there. And I know there's such panic already because Tyron Smith is, they held him out because of a little knee, or back. It was back concern. And I think James Washington was in a walking boot, one of the receivers that we picked up. And Jalen Tolbert was kind of like on the sideline just doing stretches and this and that. So I'm not going to get panicked. It's May, right? Getting into June. No. So once it starts, but this should be the quiet time. But this is where the chirping starts. And I know ESPN, Fox, all those NFL, they get the ratings on the Cowboys because people love them or they hate them. And I get that. It's why I get most of the comments. When I wear Cowboy stuff, I'll always get a comment no matter where I go. I can be in any city, in North America, and someone's going to comment on a shirt I'm wearing. If I'm in another country, they do the same. So I know it comes with the territory. And but it's just these Eagle fans. I mean, some of this stuff. It's laughable. It's laughable. This quarterback. I will let him do something first, right? They dog Dak, and Dak can't do this, and Dak can't do that, or their quarterback can't do nothing yet. He hadn't proven it. He hadn't proven it. He's had the opportunity and hadn't proven it in big games. So
yeah, and it's like being a Yankees fan, right? So people hate the Yankees. Oh, you buy your championships, you buy this. All of a sudden, we haven't been playing. We've been playing 500 ball the last week and a half, right? We're still 33-15, so kiss my ass, right? And even inside the Yankees, oh, you got to Joey Gallo and Aaron Hicks, you got to get rid of them. Just shut up. Even the fans are going crazy already.
Well, no, our fans. Hey, I've seen it. Some Cowboy fans are, they'll turn on them quick, and I know there's frustration. It's we want to win, and we want to win now. It's been way too long. I mean, it shouldn't take this long for the teams that we've had. We've had talent. Talent has not been the problem for this team, and that's where I know a lot of people get on Jones. There's been talent on this team to win. It's just they haven't gotten it done for one reason or the other. Bad luck seems to happen to them in the playoffs, but you got to create your own luck. I mean, they had an opportunity last season. You get a home playoff game. You get things that you want. You got to step up and make that happen. Yeah. And they just haven't. And they've had that opportunity, in seasons past. They've got to take advantage of these opportunities. They got to get hot at the right time. It's the same thing with the Bengals. You think about the Bengals and they go to the Super Bowl, and I was like, man, they must have been really good, this and that. I mean, they were 10-7. They were kind of winning back and forth, had a couple ugly runs, but they got hot.
And they were way under the right time. And the year before, they were well under 500.
No, they were 4-12. But I mean, they lost Burrow, got a knee injury. But I'm just saying, it's getting hot, and it's just like McCarthy with his Super Bowl. McCarthy won a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers ain't won one since he left. But if you look at that Packers team that won in McCarthy's year, they had to fight their ass off to get in the playoffs. They had to kind of keep winning back against the wall. And I think sometimes being battle tested, sometimes when you're 12-5, you kind of cruise into that division. I don't know if that's always the best thing for you. Maybe it is for a Brady-led team, but I think a young team like Dallas, I think you need to fight and you need to battle and you need to be battle tested. I'd almost, rather see them kind of fight their way to get the last couple playoff spots or something like that to kind of get that mentality. But the thing, like I said, I think they learned a lot in last season, so I'm expecting better things. This season, I think their schedule is kind of it's not easy. Everyone looks at the win percentage, and I've talked about it. It's because you're playing the Jaguars, you're playing this, you're playing that, and it makes everything drop real down. But I'll guarantee you, the Jaguars, if everyone's healthy coming back, they're not going to be a pushover. They're not going to be a pushover. And, as much as we don't like, Washington, they definitely are going to be better. The Giants are going to be, there's some teams that have gotten better, but they also caught Dallas is, they're going to catch a break here and there too with some of the teams that they're playing with, maybe take a step back. So I don't look at all that stuff till it's said and done.
I think you missed the most important Cowboys news of the week.
Uh-oh, what?
You missed it, really. October
Jerry
29th.
Jones,
October 29th. October 30th, Dallas, Texas. Tag Nation's going to be live. Mike Tag, Jimmy D, party to Dallas. Bears game the next day. And when we're in town, you know that things are taking place. So make sure you guys get your plane tickets, get your game tickets, show up to Texas Live because we're going to be taking care of business.
We'll get that Learjet fueled up and we're going there in style.
That's right.
No, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a fun time. It's always good with the Bears, and it's going to give you an opportunity to experience, AT&T, the full effect, all the great times. It's the weird thing is, man, the hotels still haven't cleared up. I'm starting to get a little nervous. Some of my followers said that they're holding out on it. I've never seen it get held out this long because usually all my hotel accommodations are booked up by now.
Well, apparently there was an opening across the street. There's a place across the street. I saw on Twitter, one of our followers.
Not at Texas Live. You ain't staying there.
No, I don't know. You know better than me. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you stay there. It's like $500-600 a night.
Oh, the rich?
That breaks into that breaks into the drinking money. That's a drinking fund. We got to stay at a more reasonable spot. So no, I'll find some. I've said the other good thing is, actually when we get done here, I got to do one more cameo. The cameos are picking up. That means the football season is coming. I did 5 last week, so it's it'll happen.
So Camel Piper thinks that I'm going to be doing a movie down in Dallas.
Oh yeah,
yeah, coming soon to VHS. Well, as long as the VHS is at a different spot each time you put it back in the.
Yeah. When he's isn't he a 49er fan?
Oh yeah, my boy Camel Piper's a. 49er.
Yeah. When did they last win the Super Bowl? I can't remember.
Oh boy, here we go.
Was it 9? I mean, did they win since '94? I don't know. Maybe they did. I might have missed it, and maybe I did. I don't know. I don't want to. I could be wrong. I don't follow the Niners, but I don't recall. Maybe I'm.
Now I'm trying to remember myself.
They lost to the Ravens. They lost. It was a Harbaugh Bowl. They lost to the Ravens. Come
on, my man, Camel Piper, bring it up.
I don't know. Maybe it is true.
No, I'm trying to remember honestly.
If they did, if they won one on DVD, then talk your shit. But you're on the same VHS I'm on, so I don't know what you're talking about. You won 94, we won 95. So shut your mouth.
Hey, wait a minute. And the Falcons have been to the Super Bowl during the DVD and the cloud era.
I respect that. Yeah, it's when you're the Falcons and you're the Niners and you're going to the Super Bowl, that's satisfaction. Winning the Super Bowl is the only thing I care about. The only thing about second place is you're the first loser. Yeah, and I don't want to be the first loser.
Back in '96, yeah, you guys were the winners. But I tell you what, though, it's funny with the Niners. That's old school. When we were part of the NFC West back in the day, we had to play them every year, and for the longest time. Remember, I'm a Yankees fan because of Deion Sanders. Yeah, I meant to bring. I was looking through some old baseball and football cards, and I actually found my old Deion Sanders cards, right? And if you recall, that's how I became a Falcons fan. And before primetime came around, the Niners would smack us around every year, and then we finally started getting some satisfaction. But
well, to me, the best, and it was in his Niner year. Best ever was Deion and Andre Rison.
Yes, yeah.
Fighting. And the funny thing is, neither one of them got thrown out. I don't even know if there was a flag thrown.
No, and they were smacking the hell out of each other, right? Yeah. That was great. Wasn't that when Lisa Left Eye burned down Rison's
burned his house down. Yeah. Hey, man. Can't be messing with them women will get you. But no, it's I'm looking forward to the season, but I definitely want to have some breakdowns of the positions, and we'll get more get into some definite Cowboy talk as the season gets going. I'm warming up. That's what these cameos do. I get the hype, the hype machine's warming up, get these things done. So I'll definitely be ready to roll Sunday night when Tampa comes to Dallas. I'm looking forward to that. They've already got us as an underdog, so that's fine. That's fine.
And we gotta talk about next week also. Next week.
Oh
yeah,
we're gonna miss. So we're both on vacation. So we're gonna have to have a week miss. Now, hey, You know, maybe some alcohol getting one of us or both of us. We end up streaming a video and doing an impromptu show. I can't say it's going to happen or ain't going to happen, so you just never know. But like you guys, man, we got to recharge the batteries. We gotta get a little break. So we got to focus on some of the family stuff. So we definitely are going to miss you next week. But then we'll be back. We'll definitely be back the following Monday.
And don't forget, we owe it to our public.
Absolutely.
Right? We love our public, but at the end of the day, right, we got to relax, recharge, and hey, like you said, you never know.
Yeah. So
might be a little special guest appearance.
So let's close it up. And you have the Lightning. Is that tomorrow night? When's that series start?
Yeah, actually, right now the Colorado and Edmonton's on right now. Tomorrow night we start. So we have
tomorrow night.
Yeah, very, very little bit of rest time, which again I think is fine because Shesterkin has been on fire. We've been playing well. So I'm hoping that the Lightning, get
a little rusty. You get a little momentum early, maybe snag one. And then the NBA is Thursday, I think.
Thursday 8:30. Yep.
So I'll be chilling. I'll be chilling in a cabin watching that game, hopefully, and enjoying myself. So I don't have anything else to say, man. I'm just glad to be back. I'm sorry I missed last week. I felt I let the people down. Unfortunately, where I was, it wasn't the greatest internet. Didn't want to take a chance of screwing something. Oh,
wait,
so I guess he's cutting me off.
Hey, what are you cutting him off for? I'll kick your ass. No, go ahead.
Anyway,
no, for real. But no, and the best part, and I apologize. There might have been people commenting last week, like I announced at the beginning. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know how to turn the comments on. I'm looking for comments. I'm like, damn, man, I see some people watching. I can't imagine I'm that boring that nobody's putting on comments. But apparently, I didn't know there was a button you had to hit to enable the comments. So,
and that's it. Hey, you give Jimmy the credit. The man went in. This stuff ain't easy doing it solo. So, I mean, the man had said, "Hey, we got a show. We said we were going to be there. I know you can't do it. I'll hold the fort down." So, you always got to go show love to the man to get it done. So, until not next week, the week after, stay tuned. We'll set the live announcements. But if you get a sudden live video come up, you're probably going to get us in raw form. So you definitely want to check out. So until whatever week that is, Jimmy, I don't even know the date, but I know it's in June. You guys, peace out. You guys have a great one. Poison Clan, thanks again for the shirt. See you.
Down, up and down the field. So now, why don't you guys pack it up? Get out of my stadium. Now that you just admitted that we're the greatest and stare out of my face. Now can you dig it?